Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. I got the Princess back in because this is next on my list to get on the road, at least right now, because it's pretty close to actually being ready. And I would really like to get some of the projects on the road. I'm not saying I have too many projects, but I have a lot. And this one is pretty close to being ready. It drives pretty well. Of course, I haven't really tested it, but it seems really nice. The brakes works really nice. It brakes straight. It seems to have a lot of braking force. And I have actually ordered some testing number plates for this Monday. So this Monday, I hope to take it on a real test drive to really see what's what, if the engine coolant system is up to the task and all that. And if everything works and seems fine, I might even go to the MOT. I think it's pretty close to being ready, but I'm pretty sure there is some stuff that is not good enough for the MOT. But sometimes it's just, for me at least, a good idea to go to the MOT, get a list of stuff to fix, and then go from there. Because on old cars, everything is slightly broken, but something is okay, something is not. It's always a bit difficult. But what I would like to do beforehand is, even though the braking system seems to work pretty good, and it's not that old, by the way. The car has not been off the road that long. And I know the previous owner did some rebuild on the brake calipers, at least at the front end, with the stainless steel pistons in the calipers and so on. So it seems pretty nice. But what I would really like to do is just to check everything. I would also like to change the brake fluid. Remember, it needs to be changed every 4th year, I think. And it's more than 4 years ago it was on the road, so most likely it's too old. So I would like to change that. That means I will have to loosen all the nibbles on the bleeding system to bleed it. But the main thing is that there is an issue. And yeah, I know, there's a Fiat Panda right here. It's a Fiat Panda Skyline model, a pretty special and nice model, but it's not my car, and I don't think I will be making videos on it. But it's there, now you know why. But the handbrake is really working well on this car. So is the foot brake, I think. But as you can see, it's not spinning freely. This could loosen up over time when it's used and all that. But most likely it will just overheat, expand, and drag even more. That could lead to brake overheating and brake failure. That's one thing. Another thing is this is a no-go at an MOT. It needs to spin freely. So I need to take it apart, find out what's binding. Most likely it's just the adjustment of stuff that, well, not actually the adjustment, but I think when I pressed the brake for the first time, it went out. The brake shoes went out and then didn't really get back in. So it could be a tired wheel cylinder that needs a bit of massaging. And hopefully we can just get it to work with the stuff we got. I got new brake liners if it's needed, but I don't have anything else right now. So I'm going to take all wheels off, and then we're going to go one by one all the way around, loosen the bleeder nibbles, and inspecting stuff. Looking pretty good, eh? It's easy to see that it's been rebuilt not that long ago. The clips are not rusty. The calipers are painted nicely. And there's no problem with binding calipers up here. So that's good. There's 3 bleeder nibbles on this one, just like on Volvos actually, in 2 lines. It is a 4-piston brake caliper actually. So let's just hope that we can get them all free. I'm not gonna try straight away. Just gonna give it a chance to loosen up a bit. I'm gonna do the same on the rear bleeders. By the way, they are stuck on both sides, the calipers, or the drums. This one is just as bad as the other one. So something needs to be done. And then the last one, we have a problem up here. So I'm gonna let that soak for a bit and then try to do something about this, because my MOT man won't like this. This needs to be fixed. To do that right, I will have to remove the brake lines. So I'm going to do that. We need to drain that brake fluid anyway. Ah, that was easy. Oh, nice. What is lovely about this car is that the previous owner was really good at taking care of his stuff. Other than the storage situation, this in a tent for so long, but other than that, he really took care of this car. So everything is greased nicely, nothing is stuck. It's lovely. It looks really clean, the brake fluid. That is also nice. I don't think it's that old. Good thing. But I'm just gonna let it drip for now. And while waiting for the penetrating oil to loosen up the bleeder screws and for the oil to drip off from the front section, I'm just gonna give it a bit of rust treatment. I have cleaned it down with a wire brush. I have treated some areas with surface Rust, and I haven't found any holes or anything. Now I'm just spraying it down. All around. This is a lot better. At least better looking. It's the same material underneath, but it's safe and solid in here. And now it's just also protected. It is still dripping away though, so I'm gonna try to remove that brake drum. And to be honest, it could become a challenge because it is really stuck. Sometimes it helps just turning it a bit, but I need to make sure that it's not screwed in place. It doesn't seem to. Maybe I can undo this self-adjustment mechanism. If it's anything like the Mini, there is a screw back here. Nah, it doesn't look that way. I'm gonna put some hearing aid on and then I'm gonna give it a good whack with a hammer. Whoa! Now it's actually loose. That's a good sign. I just think it needs to be looped up. I wonder if maybe it's held in place by a nut, but for sure it was stuck because of it didn't move back in position. So one whack with the hammer and everything is nice, but it just feels better to check it out. Yeah, it looks as though the bearing is in the drum, so we need the split pin to be removed. Oh, this one could maybe be the other way. Yeah, it's reverse thread on this side to make sure that it doesn't undo itself while driving, because that's annoying. Unless you drive a Citroën. Then it's just fun. There we go. Asbestos warning, by the way. I don't think it's asbestos, but it is old brake liners. I can see that. The water just binds the dust so it doesn't fling around. Even if it's not asbestos, and I don't think it is, it will be bad for you. But now it's time for me to go inside to get something to eat. It's been a long day, not working on the Princess, but on other stuff. You might see a lot of rubble in my garden. That is because we are in the process of a restoration of the house. But I'm gonna go in and get something to eat. And when I get back here, it will be completely pitch dark because it's around 5 or 6 o'clock, I think. And in 1 hour, it will be completely black. Back again. with some food in my belly. This is just to do it right, because really I think it's working just fine now that I have loosened it up, but I would like to have it keep on working. There we go. Now I'm gonna clean up the back plate. That's good enough. I'm not gonna go crazy. Now I'm gonna grease up the points where the pads come into contact with the backing plate to make sure that it doesn't seize up. Always a discussion how much of this stuff to use. You don't want it to get in contact with the brake liner, of course, but for the hard to reach areas I like to use a spray. There we go. Also gonna give the handbrake cable a bit of grease, spray grease. So I actually thought that I had new brake liners for this car. I don't. I have a set, or actually 2 sets of brake liners or brake pads for the front. So I'm just gonna reuse the old one. They are just fine. But yeah, just to explain. On the rear of the brake liners, there is this self-adjusting mechanism, and I would like to grease that up a bit. And also give the pivoting points some spray grease. Trying to avoid getting any grease on the liner itself. If it happens, clean it off really quickly with brake clean. Some say that it bakes into the pad. It might, but I have never had an issue as long as you quickly remove it. Don't let it soak in oil for a long time though. So yeah, of course I could have went ahead and tried to source new parts for all this, but to be honest, everything looks pretty nice. There is a bit of rust due to moisture in there, but there's nothing that compromises the braking system in my opinion. So, and then tighten to the click, 80 Newton meters, right there. And then I need to align the hole for the cotter pin. I checked the bearing, by the way. It looked really nice and well greased. And now it spins freely. I'm gonna do exactly the same on the other side, and then I think the brakes should be good enough. So it has stopped dripping and I'm ready to fix this rust hole, but that will be tomorrow because it's late. So this is all for tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to fix that rust hole and hopefully bleed the brake system, fit the air filter, and then I will have to just go around checking everything that I know is important for an MOT. If that actually happens next week, we'll see. But it's really nice to be back at the Princess because it's actually really close to being 1 year ago I picked this up. It was somewhere around May last year. So I think it would be pretty nice to get this on number plates soon. And also just picking it up from my storage. This car is awesome. I love the way it drives. The suspension is one thing. The very smooth engine is another thing. Of course it is a bit tappety because of my missing shims. But it's still really smooth. Remember, I can actually balance a coin on the valve cover of this engine. When it's running, by the way. So this is all for now. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.